You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, we're giving you the Michigan Sports Truth, the show that reveals facts, truth, research, and statistics and never messes around. We lay down the entire truth about everything regarding your Detroit and Michigan sports teams, no matter if it's good or bad. No junk, no entertainment, no homerism, no coddling, no pop culture, no opinions, no shilling, and no fluff. Head over to our website at MichiganSportsTruth.com, follow us on Twitter at Michigan_Truth, and like our Facebook page, The Michigan Sports Truth. The Michigan Sports Truth podcast does not represent or defame any of the teams it covers. It only detects, exposes, and reveals honest, actual, and hidden truth, facts, and statistics about them.
And welcome to the Postgame edition for Friday, June 15th, 2018. I'm Taylor Phillips along with Louis Tenore, our national sports reporter. Tonight we're going to talk about how and why beating a terrible team by only one run does not nearly prove that you're nearly good enough or nearly good enough to prove that you're a contender for at least a playoff spot. As the Tigers beat the terrible Chicago White Sox 4-3 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Yeah, they only beat them on one run.
That one is long gone!
Juan Mignata, going into the game, a relief pitcher with an 8.31 ERA going into tonight. The Tigers threaten with two men on, runners on second and third and one out. They intentionally walk Tim Anderson to load the bases, and then they only get one run on a fielder's choice ground ball by getting nobody out. Actually, that intentional walk was after that, with a man stealing second. Not Tim Anderson. The Tigers were batting out the White Sox, but they intentionally walked a batter after Victor Reyes stole second after that ground ball, and they didn't even score another run. They settled for one run against a relief pitcher, Juan Mignata, with an 8.31 ERA, a very high ERA. He actually finishes the eighth inning. The Tigers' offense still stinks. I don't care if they win or not. Their offense still stinks. And even though, like you pointed out, Lois, that sometimes the one run makes a big difference, you still get it. It's still not. You can't just find a weak way to win. You got to rout your opponent. You got to rout that terrible opponent of yours when you have that advantage of a unanimous mismatch. The White Sox are 24-44. The Tigers now 34-37. Still 3 games below 500, but second place in the American League Comedy Central. 3.5 games back of the Cleveland Indians, who are 36-32, but still 11 games back of those wild card spots in the American League wild card standings. There's no wonder why. Their offense stinks. Even with their stupid rally goose, their offense still stinks. They manage like 3 or 4 runs per game this season. That's it. They're not manufacturing many runs per game. Only few. Only very few. That's all I have to give. Anytime you beat a terrible team by only 1 run, you're definitely not good enough to be a contender. You have to rout that type of opponent of yours and dominate entirely to prove that you're good enough. You have to beat a terrible team by at least 10 runs to make it a rout. Maybe even more than 15. It's that simple. I can't sugarcoat it any other way. But that said, just another clumsy one in Chris Ilitch's payroll piggy bank. Hopefully this has nothing to do with wins or losses, but I'm going to have to ask Jeff Moss just to be sure. 100% sure. Jeff Moss of the Detroit Sports Rag. He's our go-to guy here on the Michigan Sports Truth, the editor-in-chief and founder and creator of the Detroit Sports Rag website. So tomorrow afternoon at 2:10, Jordan Zimmerman returns to action from an injury or sickness or whatever. He's got a 2.0 record, 4.88 ERA, which is not good, not terrible, but not good. A 131 WHIP against Lucas Giolotto, 4-7, 7.09 ERA, 165 WHIP. Now it could be either a slugging match offensively, except the Tigers' offense still stinks, or it could be a rout one way or the other. Now look, you still got to boycott Fox Sports Detroit. You still got to boycott the Tigers radio network with Dan Dickerson and Jim Price. They suck too, along with all the members of Fox Sports Detroit. Mario Mpemba, Rod Allen, Craig Monroe, Trevor Thompson, Johnny Kane, Mickey York, John Keating. Yeah, they're all soft. They are so soft. They're very soft co-conspirators with the teams that they cover, the Tigers, Red Wings, and Pistons. It's not a joke. Anytime anybody watches them, and even Rod Allen doesn't even know much about the game, much about fundamentals. And he's also a shill too. So is Craig Monroe. They're all shills. They always say something favorable only for their Tigers. That's it. Dan Dickerson and Jim Price sound soft on their own notes. On the radio, on their own Tigers radio network. On all of its affiliates. It's gross. Jim Price has to keep his peppermint candy inside his mouth every time on the air. Mispronunciating last names and first names. He's way too long in the tooth, too. I used to like him when he did play-by-play on what was past sports on cable television back in the early to mid-90s. But nowadays, he's unlistenable. It's time for Jim Price to retire. But that being said, Tigers fans, everywhere just take it as a win anyway. Like they don't even care when unlike us. Yeah, just take that one-run win against a terrible team, whether it's at home or on the road, especially tonight. Disgusting. I'll bet some Tiger fans even made it to guaranteed rate field just to cheer on their Tigers, just to recklessly cheer them on, try to urge them to just find any way to win. However, but again, all we can do is just keep educating them. We can't educate everyone, but again, you got to route that terrible team. That's it. I followed the entire game on MLB Game Day, and I think everyone else should too. Especially most of them that are sick and tired of watching the games on FSD. So, with that being said,
it's now time for the National Sports Report with Louis Tenore.
Take it away.
All right, let's begin. First, start off with the Major League Baseball. The Yankees blanked the Rays 5-0. Newcomer Lagasia got the win, and Evaldi got the loss. Rockies over the Rangers 9-5. Betts got the win, and Mendez got the loss. Continuing down the line over here, as we mentioned, hold on a second. The Tigers over the White Sox 4-3. Excuse me for a second. Okay. Tigers were over. First up, the Angels are leading the Athletics 2 with the bottom of the 7th. 1 out, nobody on. Skaggs is pitching, and Kasha is that bad. Bottom of the 7th, the D-backs are leading the Mets 6-2. 2 out, runners on first and second. Beck is pitching, and Hamid is at bat. Top 7, the Red Sox are leading the Mariners 6-4 with a runner on first and no one out. Whalen is pitching, and Holt is at bat. Red Sox ones won't go away. Dodgers leading the Giants, top of the 7th, 3-0 with a runner on first and nobody out. Stripling is pitching, and Crawford is at bat. Final scores: Marlins over the Orioles in the battle of the basement, 2-0. Uria got the win. Gassman got the loss, and Barkadog got the save. Pirates edged the Reds 3-2. Crow got the win. Harvey got the loss, and Vasquez got the save. Harvey was with the Mets, and since then the Mets haven't done anything. Blue Jays edged the Nationals 6-5. O got the win. Gonzalez got the loss, and Tapira got the save. Twins doubled up on the Indians 6-3. Gibson got the win. Kluber got the loss, and Rodney got the save. Padres beat up on the Braves 9-3. Richard got the win. Freeman got the loss. Rockies over Rangers 9-5. Oh, that's that one right. Tigers over the White Sox 4-3. Farmer got the win. Minnie got the loss, and Green got the save. Brewers had no trouble over the Phillies 13-2. Suter got the win. Arrieta got the loss. Astros over the Royals 7-3. Morton got the win, and Uris got the loss. And finally, Cubs beat up on the Cardinals 13-5. Lester got the win, and Waka got the loss. All right, so taking care of that, now let's take care of the standings. And, of course, the only race in the American League is still between the Red Sox and the Yankees. And right now, the Red Sox still have that half-game lead over the Yankees, as the Red Sox now have a record of 48-22. The Yankees are a half-game back at 45-20. The rest are all in a sewer hole, as the Rays are 32-37, 15.5 back. Blue Jays 31-38, 16.5 back. And the Orioles are in the dumpster at 19-49, 28 back. Good Lord. All right, in the Central, Indians, the only decent team in the division at 36-32. Have a 3-game lead over the Tigers at 34-37. Twins are 5 back at 30-36. White Sox are 12 back at 24-44. And the Royals 14.5 back at 22-47. It rains, it pours. In the West, Astros are 46-25. Mariners are right behind them at 44-25, 1 game back. Angels 37-32, 8 back, but still rather decent. Oakland is 11 back at 34-35, a little shabby. And the Rangers are 27-44 at 19 back. Okay. All right, in the National League, Braves are now 40-29, have a game and a half lead over the Nationals, thanks to tonight's loss at 37-29. Phillies are 4 back, 35-32. The Mets are 10 back, 28-37, pending outcome of this game as they are losing now, 10 back. And the Marlins are still the Marlins, 13.5 back at 27-43. In the Central, the Brewers are a game and a half up on the Cubs. The Brewers are 42-27, and the Cubs are 39-27. Cardinals are 5 back at 36-31. Pirates are 34-35, 8 back, and the Reds 25-44 at 17 back. In the West, the D-backs are now 30-30, have a 2.5 game lead over the Dodgers at 35-32, have come along very nicely in the last few weeks. The Rockies and Giants are both 4.5 back at 34-35, and the Padres are 6 back at 34-38. So, not exactly earth-shattering, but then again, not exactly dead in the water either. All right, so let's check out the schedule now for, shall we say, later today. I was going to say tomorrow, but it's past midnight, so it is later today. And your Saturday, June 16th games go like this. Got a ton of early games here. Boy, do we ever. Starting off at 1:05, as the Rays take on the Yankees. 2:10, your Tigers take on the White Sox. 2:15, the Astros take on the Royals. Got a slew of 4:05 and 4:10 games. And it goes like this. The Marlins take on the Orioles at 4:05. Other 4:05 games go like this. The Angels take on the Athletics. The Rockies take on the Rangers. The Reds take on the Pirates. 4:07. The Nationals take on the Blue Jays. 4:10 games. Twins take on the Indians. The Phillies take on the Brewers. 5:10. The Padres take on the Braves. 8:15 games, and these are Fox games, by the way. The Red Sox take on the Mariners. The Giants take on the Dodgers. And the Cubs take on. And at 10:10, the nightcap, the Mets take on the D-backs. The Mets. Well, you guys say more. All right, so let's turn to the soccer field. As the first full day of World Cup action began today, Uruguay pulled off a late upset over Egypt, 1-0. That came in stoppage time. And take that. Iran over Morocco, 1-0. And the game of the day, even though this ended in a tie, it was Portugal and Spain tied at 3. Ronaldo scored the hat-trick with 3 goals. Very impressive. Oh, wow. For you American soccer fans, the Portland Timbers are leading the LA Galaxy 1-0. That is 54 minutes That's now in the second half. All right, so now let's go to the schedule for tomorrow's games involving the World Cup for your June 16th. And these games are also going to start very early later this morning. And it goes like this. France takes on Australia, World Cup. France takes on Australia at 6 a.m. Great. Argentina takes on Iceland at 9 a.m. That's a Fox game. Peru takes on Denmark at noon. And Croatia takes on Nigeria at 3. And those games are on Fox Sports 1 for your interest. For U.S. soccer fans, the U.S. United States Open Cup, Philadelphia Union take on the New York Red Bulls at 7, and Kansas City takes on Dallas at 9. All right, so now we'll go to WNBA action, as there were a few games tonight, and it reads this way. The Dallas Wings over the Las Vegas Aces 77-67. The LA Sparks over the Washington Mystics 97-86. And this one is now final as the Seattle Storm had the sun set over the Connecticut Sun 103-92. And that was bad. All right, so now we'll check the schedule for tomorrow's games. Or later today. And it goes like this for June 16th. And there's 3 games on the schedule tomorrow. As the Atlanta Dream takes on the Indiana Fever at 7. The Liberty of New York take on the Minnesota Lynx at 8. And the Connecticut Sun will play the Phoenix Mercury at 10. Keep in mind, all games are, of course, at Eastern Standard Time. All right, so now let's go to the news items of the day. And this one, first up, the Houston Texans locked up inside linebacker Bernard McKinley to a 5-year, $50 million contract extension. A source told ESPN yesterday the deal also includes a $21 million guarantee, according to a source. Former NFL player Keenan Winslow II was arrested on suspicion of numerous sex crime charges. The San Diego County Sheriff's Department announced on Thursday. The charges range from forcible rape and forcible sodomy, 1 count of kidnapping with the intent to commit rape, residential burglary, and indecent exposure. And to continue on with that, there's more to the story here. He is still behind bars without bail as of yesterday, pleading not guilty to multiple counts of kidnapping, rape, and other charges. Winslow was ordered to return to San Diego County Superior Court on June 25th for a preliminary hearing. If convicted, Winslow could face the maximum sentence of life in prison. His attorney, Brian Watkins, did not immediately respond to a message left at his office. So it's that's shocking to hear. All right, now we'll continue on here. Top NBA prospect Marvin Bagley III signed a 5-year endorsement deal with shoe company Puma. No, he's not going to be dealing with an actual Puma. ESPN confirmed with multiple sources on Thursday as part of a plan to relaunch the basketball footwear into the basketball footwear business. Bagley was expected to be a featured athlete in several upcoming category and brand global incentives. News of the contract was first reported by The Atlantic. Puma will also sign other rookies in the 2018 draft before turning their sights to re-sign other established players that have existing shoe deals that do expire later this year. The brand has had recent success in the marketplace thanks to such top-notch moguls such as Jay-Z, as well as several other endorsers in the so-called lifestyle category. All right, continuing on. Whoops. All right. second here. We have other items of note here, and they go this way. San Francisco Giants third baseman Evan Longoria fractured his fifth metacarpal in his left hand in Thursday night's game versus the Marlins. Marlins right-hand starter Dan Starley hit Longoria in the fourth inning. Longoria did stay in the game briefly to run before being replaced on the field. A decision on whether Longoria will need surgery will be determined within the next few days, if it hasn't already. Real Madrid forward Cristiano Ronaldo avoids a jail sentence and reached a deal with the Spanish tax authorities and will serve a 2-year suspended sentence and pay $21 million in a tax fine in a tax evasion case, according to sources. Ronaldo was under served jail under the deal because Spanish law states that a sentence of less than 2 years of a first offense could be served as probation. So what did he do? He scores 3 goals today. He's like, I'll show you. Spurs forward Kawhi Leonard wants out of the Spurs. That's said according to leaked sources telling the ESPN. It's not really a surprise. Leonard has grown frustrated with the organization on how he handled his quad injury and feels the franchise turned on him once he sought a second option. Leonard is setting his sights on Los Angeles, most likely the Lakers, for a trade destination. Leaked sources told ESPN, a source with the Spurs told Michael C. Wright that Leonard was not asked for a trade. If Leonard does become involved in the trade talks, the Boston Celtics will be interested, much to my dismay, in probing a deal. League sources tell ESPN Boston inquired about a trade prior to the February deadline. Leonard is eligible to receive a 5-year, $219 million contract extension from the Spurs this summer. He can opt out of his current deal after next season and become a free agent by this time next year. To the Celtics, no less. Okay, Cowboys fans, well, just when you thought you heard it all, we got more trouble. For the second year in a row, the defenseman David Irving will open the season on the suspended list. Irving will miss the first 4 games, violating the NFL substance abuse policy. Irving is a repeat offender as he was suspended the first 4 games of last season for the same violation. You think you would learn after this one, but no. You gotta learn to do it again. Some people never learn. Alright, just a few more notes here. Okay, and as I mentioned, Winslow pleads not guilty. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Alright, we'll just take a look at the remaining scores for the late games that are going right now. And there's about 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, the new Yankee acquisition is from Nicaragua, and his family was watching as he was pitching. Nice debut, though. All right, now, bottom of the 8th, Angels will now lead the Athletics 8-2 with a runner on first and 1 out. Pedersen is pitching, and Lowry is batting. Going into the bottom of the 8th, the Diamondbacks now lead the Mets 6-2. Dyson, Chafin, and Jay are due up. Bottom 7, the Red Sox now lead the Mariners 6-5 with 1 out, nobody on. Hembury is pitching, and Segura is at bat. And at the bottom of the 7th, the Dodgers now lead the Giants 3-2 with a runner on first and nobody out. Johnson is pitching, and Hernandez is at bat. Just to take up one thing here, there was a little note on the Yankees here. Yankees general manager Brian Cashman was asked about whether the he listened to trade scenarios that include players in exchange for Gilbert Torres, the new Yankee sensation. His response: "Come on, give me a break. Now I've got to walk around the city. Thank you very much." Yeah,
kind of reminds me of that Carlos Monterez article, which is so asinine. Headlining: Matt Patricia is losing his players. No, he's not. Absolutely weak and disgraceful. Matt Patricia is motivating his players, making them run. This is the NFL. The players don't like it. They can walk home and not even have an NFL career. It's that simple.
Yeah, exactly. And Dustin Johnson leads by 4 as the second round of the U.S. Open has now completed. Tiger was 10 back today. I don't know if he made the cut, but everybody was thinking that he was going to do well. But I was hearing something say on my local podcast that his rank is actually very low, and Phil Mickelson is even worse. Mickelson was ranked 103rd. I'm like, what? How can he be ranked that low? I mean, he won a tournament this year for crying out loud, and you got the nerve to rank him at 103? Who makes these rankings anyway?
Just some lazy idiot.
A complete moron, if you ask me. I find it very insulting.
Mm-hmm.
So
get
right
fired.
Now, So right now, Johnson leads by 4 over Piercy. At 71 is now 4 back as he has 140. Johnson has 136. And Hoffman is tied with Piercy for second. Followed by Fleetwood and Stenson. I could have said Fleetwood Mac, but I didn't. Oh. And further down the list, we have Ian Poulter, who was in a tie for first yesterday, and Ricky Fowler is 6 back at 142. And Woods, I think we can say Woods is going to be out of this tournament. What a shame. All right, that concludes my notes for the evening. I'll turn back over to you.
All right. Before we sign off, we want to remind everyone to share this episode and our entire podcast on social media and have their friends share that as well, because we want to tell them that the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast is searching for a wider audience that is fans of sports. So please spread the word about the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts via iTunes, its Facebook page, and its Twitter handle at Michigan_Truth. For Louis Tenore, I'm Taylor Phillips. Since I'm working a double, I'm going to have to fly solo tomorrow night. And then Buck Gino and I will do the weekend review on Spreaker. And then probably either Monday or Tuesday, Lewis, I'll have you back on.
All right. Well, have a good weekend. And give my best to your dad. Happy Father's Day.
Yep, thanks.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening, downloading, and sharing. TTFN, Ta-Ta for now. Follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips.
The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast does not represent or defame any of the teams it covers. It only detects, exposes, and reveals honest, actual, and hidden truth, facts, and statistics about them.
And mission complete.